There was 4 of us kids within 5 years. So my mom had to raise 4 kids by herself.
My mom was a single mother.
So she raised both of us completely by herself, which is...
I'm sorry.
I don't know how she raised 3 boys on her own with such grace.
I've definitely seen her try to juggle both mom, dad, and, you know, everything else that she had to be for herself.
She did all of it, and she did it all as though she was 2 people.
But she was tough, huh? She was not a joke.
Say our car broke down. Oh, well, that's the alternator.
She was like, when you punch, she's like, you put your knuckle out and you just go for it. I mean, I don't even know if that's a thing.
Even like opposite of her toughness, it was something very fragile, you know?
Anything that needs help, a person, a thing, an animal, she will find it and she will nurse it back to health. That's my mom.
Always very affectionate, very hugging and kissing and all of that. It was always nothing but love.
She really is like the most amazing mother, but she was really an incredible father. Like, truly incredible.
Mom, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm thankful for everything you've done for me. Happy Father's Day, Mom.
Mamá, feliz Día del Padre.
Hi, Mom. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Mama.
Happy Father's Day, Mom.
Oh, Mom. Happy Father's Day.
Hello, my name is Ashita. I'm a big girl.
Hi, I'm Puneet. I love playing cricket.
My name is Simrita. I want to become a fashion designer.
Hi, I'm Akash. I live with my dad. I paint a lot.
My dad was actually the first one who saw this potential in me. My dad is very good with the off-spin.
Dad says, paint. Don't worry if your clothes get dirty.
Cricket is my passion. Plus, cricket is also very popular with the girls.
Dad works till late, but dinner is always home cooked.
You know, my dad is my fashion guru. We shop till we drop.
The other day I was trying to shave my beard for the first time. Disaster.
My dad has the best heels. Because my dad mostly wears heels only.
My dad walked in and said, relax. I've been shaving my legs for over a decade now. I can show you how to shave your beard.
Sometimes I don't mind if I have to stay with grandma and dad goes for shopping with girls. It's okay. Every month, Dada goes to the beauty parlor.
You want to meet my dad?
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 See? My dad taught me how to shave.
See, I told you my dad loves shopping.
I told you, my dad wears heels.
Dada loves going to the beauty parlor. Huh?
Happy Father's Day, Mom.
Happy Father's Day, Mom.
Happy Father's Day, Mama. Happy Father's Day, Mama!
Stephanie Piccone with that report, but let's turn now to the push to rename Father's Day Special Persons Day so children without a dad aren't offended. A growing number of politically correct schools and kindies are embracing the name change, but they're copping a lot of criticism for it. Now, earlier I spoke with Dr. Red Ruby Scarlett, a university academic and convener of the Social Justice in Early Childhood activist group. Well, Red, firstly, thank you very much for your time. Look, what is the argument for having Special Persons Day rather than Father's Day?
Thank you for having me as well. If we think about children's rights and how they get to participate in a community and feel a sense of belonging, sometimes shifting the language around those emotive and important days can be significant and more inclusive than the current way that we describe them.
So is it essentially, though, for children who don't have a dad for whatever reason?
Yes, but also there are children who have a dad who also have a grandfather and also have an auntie and also have other kinds of relatives. There are also a huge range of different family structures. So we have single parent families, satellite families, extended families, lesbian and gay families.
What feedback are you getting from parents and teachers who have introduced these special persons days?
There's a range of different communities across Australia, and I've actually been talking with them over the last couple of days since this has been in the media. And essentially what happens in early childhood is they work very closely with their communities and they negotiate these kinds of emotive and special family events with the families who are attending the centre. So there's quite a lot of input, and I think the conversation or the argument, as you'd said from the get-go, maybe isn't so much about the educators and the families. I'm wondering whether it's people who care about children and worry that they won't have these significant family days and celebrations in their educational settings, but perhaps they don't quite know the context of what's happening in those particular communities.
But there has been a backlash.
There has been a backlash, but the backlash hasn't necessarily come from families in those communities. It's people outside those particular contexts.
Your activist group is social justice in early childhood. Why is social justice important for little kids?
There's a lot of Australian research that has actually informed a lot of international research, teacher research, for example, that has demonstrated children's capacity to be really inclusive once they know about these ideas and they think, wow, why are people seeing this as a controversy? Why are we calling this political correctness when in fact it's about our rights?
OK, Red, and before we do let you go, people will be wondering, I am anyway, is Red Ruby Scarlett your real name?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Dr. Scarlett, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
A couple of months ago, we introduced you to Dr. Warren Farrell, who says America is in the throes of a boy crisis. And as we reach Father's Day, it's worth revisiting the issue, especially since Dr. Farrell is here in the flesh in D.C., and he's up late with me on the Final Five. Last time I saw you was through the big monitor, and now I get you here in person.
You're much better in person.
I don't know how to take that. No, let's talk about this. Father's Day is upon us. You've been making the rounds. You've been going around the country. First of all, let's tell people. You said America's in a boy crisis, and I think for people who didn't see you last time, what is a boy crisis?
Boys are doing worse in every single academic area, not only in the United States, but all over the developed world. They're doing worse in terms of emotional intelligence, worse in terms of committing suicide, going into depression. It used to be depression was a girl's thing. Now it's more with boys. They are doing much worse in terms of physical health. They're having trouble with sperm counts. Their IQs are going down. It is in 70 different areas. Boys are having problems, but it's mostly boys that do not have significant amount of father involvement.
There are people who look at a lot of the situations you mentioned and say this is a matter of political correctness, that boys are being softened these days, but it's more than that.
It is more than that. Boys have opportunities today that they've never had throughout history. Historically speaking, boys had to prepare for war. They had to be prepared for being a sole breadwinner. Today, they have more opportunities, more flexibility. But if they don't have any guidance by the culture as to what to be, they have a purpose void. And then if they have a purpose void and a dad void, they have nowhere to go. They become rudderless. Dads are very good at enforcing boundaries, which creates postponed gratification, which helps boys achieve. Without that and without a role model, a very high percentage of boys fall significantly behind.
I'm lucky to have had my father with me for every step of my life. I still do to this day. I know a lot of people who didn't. They turn out just fine. But that said, when you look at the grand scheme of things, and you mentioned the word role model.
Yes.
What makes a good role model? Is there a good role model in lieu of a father figure?
Well, first of all, a good role model is a biological dad, because the the boy, as he's growing up, starts wondering who he is. And as he searches for identity, he's half his dad and half his mom. And if he hears bad things about his dad or that type of thing, he starts worrying, am I bad like that? Am I narcissistic? Am I a liar? Or that type of thing. Now, if you can't have a father as a role model biologically, get your son or son involved with the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts. Get them involved with a faith-based community. Make sure you choose your faith-based leader very carefully, and that he encourages boys of your son's age to talk with each other. Boys who are in trouble are boys who keep their feelings to themselves and repress who they are.
You've been making the rounds, going around the country and talking to local leaders. I know that's one of the reasons you're here in D.C.
Yes.
Before we go, what are you doing? What's the conversation that you think that you have to have and that communities have to have with elected leaders, with other pillars of the community?
First, they need to understand that there is a boy crisis, and that boy crisis is all over the world. And that when boys are in crisis mode, when they don't have a lot of father involvement, they're far more likely to join ISIS. So almost all of your ISIS recruits.
And that's a big jump there.
Yes. So obviously most boys who don't have fathers don't join ISIS. But of your ISIS recruits, almost all of them have in common a lack of father involvement, not only the boys, but also the girls. Of your school shooters, the great majority of them have a lack of father involvement. Of your mass shooters, the great majority of them have a lack of father involvement. And so Father's Day is really a day to say, we need to have fathers become the new warrior, the new person to be involved, overcoming the barriers. If you're having trouble with connecting with your son, fight it out, work it out, communicate it out.
Right before, last question before we go. You know, there are a lot of people watching, and there may be single mothers out there.
Yes.
And they say, my son is growing up, and a lot of these sons are pillars of the community.
Yes.
President Obama, you can look at him as an example. So it's not an all-encompassing problem, but it's something we should investigate, is what I'm gathering from you.
Yes, the boys that are having significant problems, there's about 9 or 10 causes, but this is by far fatherlessness, and minimal father involvement is the most significant cause. One of the things that President Obama's mother did differently than many times happens is she constantly told positive stories about President Obama's father. And that's so one of the things that you can do for your child is to tell positive stories about the father, so the boy ends up feeling, I am inherently a worthwhile person.
The book is called The Boy Crisis. Dr. Warren Farrell, good to see you again.
Very
good
nice
to see you in the flesh,
you.
like I said,
Yes,
as opposed to the last time. All right, we are back.